I'm Geoff Nemnich.
And I'm Rick Paillet.
And we're the hosts of The Last Stand. Coyote hunting is my passion.
And coyote calls are my livelihood.
And together we aim to bring you the best predator hunting tips, tricks, and tactics, right down to The Last Stand.
The Last Stand, presented by Lucky Duck Predator Calls. We are the masters of deception. Swagger bipods. Shoot with confidence, shoot with swagger. Onyx Hunt. Know where you stand. Hornady. Accurate, deadly, dependable. Pulsar. Image, quality. Silencer Central. Silence delivered.
Hey guys, welcome back to The Last Stand. Hard to believe we're in season 7. You know, good buddy Dustin Patterson and I are down here in Arizona. It's about mid-January. First time we've ever been down in this country late in the season like this. So, you know, a little bit different than what it looked like last year when we were here. You know, they had a lot drier season, so the grass is not near as tall, which was a little bit of an issue for us last year. So hopefully visibility will be you know, a little bit better, but, you know, excited to be back with you guys. We got something brand new for you guys this season. We have the Last Stand website, which is tlshunt.com. Probably the most inclusive coyote hunting website that's out there. So I'll talk a little bit more about it throughout the episode, but if you're looking for a website to find, you know, the most information out there when it comes to calling coyotes, I invite you to check it out. But before we talk about that, we're going to go in here and see if we can't get a coyote killed here in the first stand or two of the morning. Sun's going to be coming up to our left. Wind's swirling around a little bit, but that's pretty common down here. Hopefully we can get some visibility and stand we've made before, first stand of the morning, so see if we can make it happen. While we're getting set up here, we walked in about 300 yards off the road. Dustin's out front. There's a big clump of mesquite, bunch of tumbleweeds blowing in there. I put the revolt out in front of him and off to the right, just a little bit like that. The wind's swirling a little bit on us, but it's primarily wanting to go this way, so that's why I got the call on him way out there. I'm gonna cover this. I got up on this pond dam bank. It just gives me just a little bit more elevation here, so anything comes from this left half, I'm gonna try to shoot it pretty quick with the rifle. There's kind of a bottom of brush and mesquite that runs off to the south there. That's the cover. That's probably where I'm thinking the coyotes are going to come from. It's pretty wide open over here, but if they come from there, it'll be perfect. Dustin should have a pretty good shotgun look at them, but the sun should be coming up over the mountains here in a few minutes, so we got probably 6-8 minutes of visibility before I'm going to be looking right back into the sun, so we're going to get after it. Well, no luck on the first stand, but luckily that doesn't dictate the day always. So we got a long day ahead of us. We got about, you know, this time of year, we got almost 11 hours of hunting time. So got a big day ahead of us. Got a lot of ground to cover. So, you know, we're going to make stands, cover ground, and hopefully we can find some coyotes. We're into our second stand. As we were sitting on that first stand, we heard some coyotes howling. Back off to the east. They were quite a ways up there, so that's where we've come with. The wind's kind of still swirling on us, so we're trying to find a little bit of openness. But now the coyotes are howling. They're obviously closer now, but they're still probably a mile away. I don't know if we'll get them to come, but either way, we're going to make this stand. If nothing shows up, we're going to try to get in there a little closer, maybe another half mile, and make another one. But we got a lot of good pasture country off to the north here. That something could show up from too. We're kind of tucked into this grass line. If anything comes hard right, You know, we're not going to see it till it pops out right here, which that's why I have Dustin to the right with a shotgun. I'm kind of covering anything that comes down the road, which is where these coyotes are howling from. But I'm not too worried about calling in a bobcat right now in this stand, so I'm going to probably play rabbit for 3 or 4 minutes, and then I'm going to get aggressive with some pup distresses and pup fights, see if we can trigger these coyotes.
Welcome to the Last Stand Coyote class with me, Geoff Nemnich. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned coyote hunter, this class has something for you. Throughout the website, you'll find over 50 teaching videos broken down in an easy to follow format, specific stand breakdowns and analysis, exclusive Last Stand episodes chock full with even more info and tips and tactics than you find on the normal YouTube page, monthly live seminars and question and answer sessions with myself, plus much more. At the end of the day, the whole goal is to be able to take everything that you're learning through this course, go out to the field and kill more coyotes. So implementing these strategies out on your own is the key. The fundamentals are the same no matter if I'm hunting in the east or the west. Yes, the terrain's different, the lay of the land's different, and I take all these variables that we're going to be talking about throughout these courses and be able to mold these into those specific areas to kill more coyotes. Join me today and let's start killing more coyotes.
Getting set up into our third stand of the morning. We've been chasing some howls. Basically what that means is on our first stand, we were about 1.5 miles back to the west. We heard coyotes howl up in here, so nothing showed up on the first stand. We probably made a move maybe 3/4 of a mile closer to the coyotes. That was our second stand. The coyotes howled again out here, but they were still pretty far away. Sometimes, obviously they could hear the call. They just didn't want to come from that far, so we're just trying to methodically just get in on them because there's 3 or 4 of them down in here howling. So we don't know exactly where they are. I think they could potentially be in this bottom right here. It's pretty thick mesquite and things. Wind is kind of drifting that way a little bit, so that's why I'm here. It's a little more open. I got Dustin tucked in the mesquite here right beside me. Got the revolt out in front of him. The idea is hopefully the coyotes now, if they come from there, they'll kind of be angled out towards the call that way, or if anything shows up from, you know, left or straight out, he can shotgun it as well. So hopefully we're in their bubble here and we'll be able to get some killed. Well, no luck. You know, we thought this would be right probably where they were in, you know, as far as getting within their bubble within, you know, 300, 400, 500 yards where they're at. But hard saying what happened, you know. It's pretty wide open getting in here. You know, they could have potentially seen the truck, which would have bumped them out of here before we got into the stand. But yeah, nonetheless, it happened. So, you know, we're going to back out of here. We kind of hit a dead end kind of on our route through here. So we're going to back out, get kind of on another road that'll take us up to the south that we can make a series of stands on and keep pounding away. We'll see it coming for 200 yards. Yeah, I think that'd be good. Into our fourth stand of the morning. Wind now is finally out of the south. I mean, that's what my wind app said, that eventually it was going to swirl a little bit early and then finally straighten out to the south. So that's what our plan for the rest of the day is, kind of working from north to south. You know, that way everything kind of lays out for these stands. So probably the most wide open stand we're going to have all day. Really, I don't know if it's grazed down, it's just sand and dirt. Probably see 200 yards. There's a lot of thick cover over here. We got some cattle off to our right. There's kind of a bottom that runs through here where the grass is a little bit taller. It's over here a couple hundred yards. It runs out. So I'm going to crank some volume and hopefully get this first Arizona coyote of the trip killed on this stand. Hopefully this isn't the day we burn 100%er. Our fifth stand of the morning. This stand has been good to us the last couple of years. We killed 5 on it. A couple of years ago, last year, we even killed 1. But, you know, last year the grass was so tall, the one we called in, you couldn't hardly see him. But this year, footage should be really good. But just got a deep, thick bottom, and that's all we're looking for now is cover. I mean, the coyotes are going to be bedded up in these thick mesquite bottoms, taller grass. We're just trying to get in close to that cover. So I'm going to rip the call. We're all piled in around this big mesquite bush. Got lots of shadows to sit in, so got the revolt out there about 20 yards. Wind's picking up a little bit, which is perfect. So hopefully we can get our luck switched around here. Well, it's bound to happen sooner or later. Burning 100%ers.
That's on the call.
Well, we're grinding away. It's our 6th stand of the morning. We're just following this bottom now. This is the cover. It's going to be the middle part of the day. The coyotes are going to be laid up in these thick bottoms. So that's all we're trying to do is find the thickest cover we can find. So down in these low spots, the grass is thicker, the mesquite's thicker. Hopefully that's where we can find some coyotes. Haven't even seen a coyote yet. So we've called in bobcats here too, so I'm going to stick to my bobcat sequence here. Maybe 3 or 4 different prey distress sounds for maybe about the 8-minute mark. You know, a couple minutes apiece on prey distress, and then finish maybe the last 4 minutes out with some pup distress.
Surprise, cows. Didn't even know I was in my little roost.
Well, the troops are growing restless on this one so far this morning. It's our 7th stand. It's almost 11 o'clock. You know, we're just thinking that there's probably not a lot of coyotes in here. We've pretty much blanketed this stretch with, you know, 6, now 7 stands. We haven't seen a coyote. We've seen a few tracks. So it's telling us they're just not the densities in here like there have been in the past. So I think we're going to make maybe 2 more stands in this valley, and then it's going to be time to make a run for this afternoon. Just hopefully we can find some coyotes. I mean, we're just doing the same thing over and over. I don't think we can expect different results. I mean, there might be an occasional coyote in here, but they're not thick. But I still like our chances to kill a bobcat. We've called in bobcats in this stuff before in past years, so I'm going to stick with that prey sequence. I usually don't do that for coyotes, but I'm going to play 3 or 4 different prey distress sounds over the series of about, you know, over the length of about 8 minutes, 8-9 minutes, and then I'll get into some pup distress. Wind's blowing about maybe 8-10 miles an hour, which is about perfect right into our face. So not a lot of cover, but hopefully we get these coyotes in enough where we can get them killed. Well, only in Arizona do you get to watch some javelinas run around out in front of you before you start calling. I suppose there's probably in other states too, but at least where I call, it's the only place I get to see them. Got a little herd of, I don't know, 6 or 8 of them down here. But this is, we talked about 100%ers earlier this morning. This is our last remaining 100%er in this valley. You know, last year I killed a bobcat on this stand as we're filming. We've had coyotes come in here, just thick bottom. It's not as thick as normal. You know, the grass is not as tall as it is, so we've got pretty good visibility. I'm up a little bit higher on the hill, not too high, so I'm not skyline, but I have a pretty good overwatch position. Dustin's right down off the lip, about 30, 40 yards in front of me. He's got the Super Bowl right out in front of him, so hopefully we get some coyotes coming. They're not going to see us. They had a bomb right in here, and then if anything checks up, it's coming a little slower, I'll have the ability to shoot it with a rifle. But once again, we're in cat country, so I'm going to run that cat sequence for, you know, the first 8-9 minutes, it's going to be a series of 3 or 4 different prey distress sounds, and then, once I get to that 9-10 minute mark, I'll play a couple different pup distresses for maybe the last 4 minutes. But wind's blowing. I'm going to max the volume out. See if we can get our luck changed right here. This cat, but I think he saw us. He sat down right behind this bush. I don't have a shot. Just get him to move here about 5 feet forward. I'll shoot him, but right now I just don't have a shot. Alright, I'm gonna try him. There we go. He finally peeked around the corner. Well, we had the old standoff going there. We're 26 minutes in. The cat sequence worked. He came from up the draw. We caught him cut across, and he got to right behind this bush, and he saw us when we were kind of moving to get on him, but he stopped right behind that bush. And luckily there at the end, I moved just a little bit to get anchored in. There was a little gap, maybe 2 inches through there. I was going to try a shot, and he happened to lower. He crouched and he peeked around the side, and I had a pretty clear shot right at his head. So that was probably 60 yards. So, well, I'm gonna have to patent my bobcat sequence. Finally worked. He was coming across the open on a good trot, and he got right behind this tree, and I went to make a move, just a slight little move. I mean, very slight. Casey stopped right here in this opening. If he didn't make it all the way around the corner, and he pegged me even through the thick bush. He saw me. So then he's right behind this thick bush. Well, you know how it is once they peg you. So I'm debating. I mean, the camera angle is a little bit different than mine. He was sitting. It looks like he sat down, and his head, and there was like 2 or 3 little mesquite branches right through this little gap. But I knew he was like 10 feet past the bush. So I'm like, all right, let's see if we can maybe get him. And then he laid down.
Really?
And then that was for most of that time while you were down here.
And he did that through the howls. And
Yeah, I was trying to get him to just stand up, because then I was like, hell with it. I'm sitting there. I'm going to try that headshot if he sits back up again. And he was crouched down, and I made a move to anchor in, because I'm like, there was I could see about half his eye, and I was maybe had like an inch gap through the tree, and I'm like, I'm tired of sitting here. I'm going to try it, right? Because I thought if I missed, I might have a running shot at him. And he saw me move, and he went, and he crouched even lower and leaned to the side, and I had a wide open shot to half of his head, and just ducked one right in there. But the afternoon run has begun. Pretty stoked after killing that bobcat on the last stand. We picked up, drove about 20 minutes, got into a new valley, got on a new road. Wind staying, just perfect out of the south like we want it. It's blowing maybe 10, 12 miles an hour, which is ideal. If you ask me, I'd much rather have a wind like this than that dead calm swirling stuff. But calling a bunch of mesquites. Luckily the grass this year's not down, so we have pretty dang good visibility. We've got a big cutoff to our right on the upwind. Dustin's kind of right up front. Supervolt's out in front of him. And the reason for that is if a coyote comes out of this cut to our right, it ought to, bomb right in past him to the call. But then I have pretty good visibility this whole downwind half in case we get a slow dinker coming through here. I'm just going to stop him and shoot him unless he's running hard to the call. I'll let Dustin get him, but I'm going to crank some volume. We're still in bobcat country, so I'm going to stick with that bobcat sequence. 3 or 4 prey distress sounds for that first 8 to 10 minutes. And then, finish with some loud schoolyard brawl, sig kicking ass, something like that. Pup distress for those last 3-4 minutes. Switch up some sounds here, see if I can get him to break. Which way to go? Well, that coyote pegged us. That's the downside to not having cover grass. You know, we're kind of sitting in the sun. That's an issue with the south wind, but you can't give up the wind. You got to give up the sun. He got to about 125, and I think he pegged the camera when we moved on him. He locked up for the longest time, but then I switched through a few sounds, and one of the squeaky sounds, he broke. And he stopped out here about 100 yards, but he was just behind a bunch of mesquite, and I just didn't have a clear shot. I don't think Dust could see him either. I played everything for 15 minutes. He just stood there, and then finally just turned around and left. That's what makes Arizona so crazy. We've been making 12 stands. They haven't had a coyote come in. And I heard the coyote before we saw him, but he come running right between me and the camera. But he didn't wind, the wind's going like this, so he didn't wind us until he got right here, and then luckily Dustin got him rolled up on the second shot.
I thought about killing him inside the bush, but I didn't know what his tactic was. It looked like he got caught in it.
Yeah.
Because
he was coming hard to the call, but then he hit Cam's wind like right. I mean, he about ran over Cam. I don't know if he jumped, probably was within 5 feet of Cam probably. Then he hit his wind, and then he didn't know what to do.
That was. As soon as you hear the horses galloping, you know it's a coyote running in.
Oh yeah,
you.
I heard that thing like 4 or 5 seconds before, and
Yeah.
it's like, oh god. Well, although we didn't get any footage on that last stand, it's pretty exciting. I mean, that's what we've been hoping for all day. You know, so we just made a run down this draw, probably another 3/4 of a mile. We're just looking for cover. You know, out here it's thick mesquites, these thick washes, bottoms. You know, that's kind of where the cover's at. Although that's not always where the coyotes are at. That's probability tells us that's where the coyotes are at. So.
There's another one. Another one.
He was so close, you know. I was like, he's gonna see me before, you know. When he's running chest on, you don't calculate the drop, you know, the scope and difference, and just shot a little high, shot him right in the mouth. You know, I kind of let him go. I knew his hit pretty good, and I was hoping the second one was gonna loop up here and give us a shot, and then pretty soon this one, he started walking down there. Well, before we try to make it 3 in a row, I want to tell you guys about the all-new website we just launched. You know, our goal here at The Last Stand has always been to bring you guys the most instructional, informative coyote hunting videos that we can. So hopefully you guys are seeing a lot more success when you go out. So through a lot of hard work and brainstorming, we decided to launch the Last Stand website. Now, it really is the first of its kind when it comes to instructional, informative information that you can find on the internet that will make you a better coyote hunter. You know, basically, we formatted it all off the coyote school that I do in person. So if you go over to tlshunt.com, you can see what it's all about. But there's hours of instructional video on there, you know, start to finish, everything you possibly could need to know about calling coyotes. You're going to find modules and instructional videos on there.
There's going to be chances for you guys to personally ask me questions after you watch those videos, and we can elaborate on things. And then also there's exclusive Last Stand episodes on there where I'm able to go a lot more in depth than we are on these normal YouTube videos, because you try to find that mix of instruction and entertainment. But the exclusive Last Stand episodes on the website are going to be very instructional, heavy based, be able to break down stands a lot more, talk you through full length stands and everything like that. And then also on there, you're going to find monthly seminars that I'm going to put on, question and answer sessions, partnership discounts, and a lot of other cool features. So I invite you to go check it out. I guarantee it's going to make you a better coyote hunter. So tlshunt.com. Out in this open, we'll shoot him. There he is. He's circling to the left here. There he is. I was thinking, man, maybe we can get some footage here. And then instantly in my mind, I'm like, man, we've been screwed once by mesquites and almost on that bobcat. So I'm like, nah, I got a clear shot. Well, if you've made it 3 in a row, you might as well not stop at 3. We might as well make it 4 in a row, the way I look at it. We're on a 15th stand of the day. We got time for this stand and one more. Stand we made before. We called in a bobcat here last year. He got behind some prickly pear. We never got a shot at it, but the grass was so tall he left without us ever seeing him. But, the vegetation's not near like it was, so we should be able to see him coming. I'm kind of tucked around to the side just in case something comes from this downwind half. Dustin's off to the left, killing everything usually where they come from. When you make stands over and over again, you kind of get a better idea of usually where the coyote's at. You can set up just a little bit better, and that's exactly what we're doing on this stand. We've kind of wrapped around a little bit more because it seems like more times than not they show up over on this side. So well, we've been waiting for that all day.
Yeah.
Man, that coyote was hauling.
We needed a camera on your side for that one.
Yeah. After we got set up, I thought, yeah.
That was pretty, watching the dust kick off his feet when he was running across that.
All backlit there.
Yeah.
Well, I just did, when he was coming, like, oh man, at that angle, I'm like, I just didn't know if he was going to get to the call or not, and I just kind of froze and just kind of tucked my hat brim down a little bit and just kind of followed him with my eyes. And once he cleared this big chunk of cactus, I thought, holy crap, you're going to get a shot.
I didn't know if he was going to go all the way or not.
He never once looked over here. He was running. That's what you want. When the coyotes run fast to the call, they don't look around,
Yeah.
I mean, we had it set up. If he'd have stopped and I'd have shot him, I don't know how much footage we'd have got, but hey, we kept this 100%er.
Yep, we did.
It's like the only one we have left in Arizona, maybe, at this point. Well, our persistence was rewarded today.
Finally.
Some days when you're coyote hunting, you have a plan and maybe there's no coyotes, maybe the coyotes there just don't work. I mean, that was this morning, going in and out of stands. We were looking for sign. We weren't seeing hardly any tracks. It wasn't until noon until we killed the bobcat.
Yep.
We had already made a plan before we went to that stand that was going to be our last stand over there to make a run. And, sometimes you're rewarded, sometimes you're not. Today we were, just getting in a new spot. You can bang your head against the wall and hope for a different result. We kind of had an idea after making 7-8 stands in there. It just wasn't the coyote numbers in there that we were hoping. But, we made a little run, got into a whole new valley here, and sure enough, we're finding coyotes. And we got to see some of the stuff that we're used to seeing from Arizona. So,
even though we didn't kill one on the last stand, we kind of got that streak going. You know, if you guys have watched these Arizona videos in the past, we get on these streaks, you know, and you kill 4, 5, 6 in a row kind of a deal. And that's kind of what we did today. So you got to get a couple with the shotgun. Not quite at the call. That'll be the goal the next couple days.
Yeah, that one was close.
It was. We just need a little bit different angle on that, and I think it would have been great. But, you know, we got over here, the coyotes were running into the rabbit, you know, and Lucky Pecker and TNT, and that's what we usually assume. And to me, that means there's probably more coyotes in here. They're just trying to race each other. So, you know, we got 2 more days here in Arizona. We're going to be back in this general area tomorrow, just because the coyote numbers, I think, are pretty good right in here. So we're going to give it a shot, you know, but appreciate you guys watching. Like I said earlier, swing over to our new website, tlshunt.com, and you can find exclusive Last Stand episodes, tons and tons of instructional videos and content there to make you a better, more successful coyote caller. So appreciate you guys watching. We'll catch you next time right here on The Last Stand. There's another one.